We want to bring in NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Tsirkin. Julie, good morning. First, just give us a recap of what we've heard so far. What's standing out to you?
Joe, such an emotional press conference. We've heard from some of these women before as they took to the Capitol to try and put pressure on elected officials to vote or to force the Department of Justice to release these files. I just want to note a couple of things that we've heard from some of them. For example, Lisa Phillips, one of the survivors who previewed a couple of months ago that if Congress didn't take this step, if the administration didn't release these files, they, as the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplices, would put together a list and release the names to the public anyway. She said today that perhaps more is to come. Another survivor, Jenna Lisa Jones, struck me when she appeared to be talking directly to President Trump, saying, "I voted for you. I'm begging you to show some leadership, but your behavior on this issue has been a national embarrassment." It was also notable when we heard from another survivor who said she had to prepare her speech so quickly because she took the place of another survivor who couldn't show up because of the death threats that she and her family were receiving. And then, of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene, somebody who has faced the ire of President Trump in recent days. He called her a traitor for her support of these files. She said her loyalty was always free, her loyalty to President Trump, but she hit back at him, saying that a traitor is an American that serves foreign governments, previewing as well, Joe, a unanimous vote in the House today. What a long road for these women who have grown so close and such a special bond together as they have fought for this issue, as they have tried to rally support behind them. I was also struck by the images that some of them held up, showing themselves at 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, reminding the world that they may be adults today, but they were not adults. They were just children when they faced abuse from Jeffrey Epstein and his circle.
Julie, today's vote in the House follows months of drama and roadblocks that you've been following. Then the discharge petition finally cleared the way for the vote. Then on Sunday, President Trump did a U-turn, actually encouraging House Republicans to vote for the release. So what can we expect today? After all this, could it be a unanimous vote?
That is certainly the vibe that we are getting from even Republicans. Last night, I was outside of the Capitol talking to a number of them, so many of them, including those who have said just 2 days ago that this is a hoax, that they will never vote to release these files, now saying they will. Troy Nehls, one congressman that I know that you saw my interaction with earlier this morning, Joe, saying he's voting to release the files because everybody else is. So it does bode to preview a unanimous vote or near so in the House later today. We could see this happen just around 3 p.m. today. What's interesting, Joe, is that the vote is expected to be so overwhelming that the House is able to bypass the traditional rules they're supposed to follow, taking procedural steps before a final vote and essentially just moving to the final vote, because at least 2/3 of the House is expected to vote in its favor. The Senate, however, still needs to take this vote up. Even if and when the House does pass this later today, the Senate will have to put it on the floor. The top Republican there, Leader Thune, telling myself and other reporters for months he doesn't believe a vote like that is even necessary. But now, with overwhelming pressure coming from this chamber to the other, he might be forced to put it on the floor anyway. We could see a unanimous vote happening there as well, though no timing is known at this time.
We heard all three lawmakers from the House speaking there, encouraging the Senate to pass this bill. We heard Representative Thomas Massie say, don't muck it up in the Senate. We heard Representative Khanna say, don't make any amendments to it. I mean, what are the possibilities now when it gets to the Senate, where it is going to need 60 votes?
Yeah, well, there are a couple of different roads that they could take. We did hear from some Senate Republicans that, similar to the House Republicans, might have said 2 days ago that they wouldn't support something like this, now saying that they will, including Senator Tommy Tuberville, who we caught in the halls yesterday. So if and when Leader Thune decides to put this on the floor, they could just voice vote it, meaning not have a vote at all, not go through it name by name. All 100 senators would have to consent to that for that to happen. But that's a real possibility, especially if we see an overwhelming vote here in the House that we expect. The thing is, though, the president still needs to sign this into law before the DOJ releases these hundreds of thousands of pages of documents. The president saying that he would sign it. Another thought for you, though, Joe, raised by Thomas Massie when I was talking to him last night. He's, of course, the top Republican who is behind this effort. He said to me, look, those investigations that the president had directed at the 11th hour into prominent Democrats, some saying those are his opponents, directing Pam Bondi to look into them and their interaction interactions with Jeffrey Epstein. You heard one of the survivors today using that and saying, don't make this political, seeming discouraged by that move. Well, Thomas Massie said that he believes this could be something that the DOJ uses to say, look, this is an ongoing investigation. Releasing these files right now would harm it. So I don't think this road is over yet. And that is why you saw the survivors and you saw Congresswoman Green saying this vote might be successful. It very likely will be. But that is not the end of the road. It is only the beginning.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.